Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie, and today I am doing a little bit different style for your reading. Blazer the Morkie is out with other family members. He was being a little bit barky today, so we're wanting a more relaxing atmosphere where you can really see the cards I'm pulling for you today. So as I'm shuffling and getting your overall energy, that overall vibe for you today, I'll just remind you that these are general readings, so take only what resonates and leave the rest. You have the whole description below the video with lots of links and information where you can connect with me. Also, keep in mind that I'm live on my channel every Friday for Frequency Fridays and every other Sunday with live Q&A. All right, Taurus, you're wanting to get into this, so let's go. You got the Nine of Swords, and there was another sign that got the Nine of Swords too. I wanted to say maybe it was Aries. So the Nine of Swords. As I'm tuning into this energy for you, Taurus, it feels a little different than it did for the other sign that got it. This, to me, this Nine of Swords feels like an energy that you are clearing. So the Nine of Swords can be sleepless nights. It can represent a stressful mind. It can feel very defeating at times. It can feel like you have low energy, but for some reason, with this full moon in the background, with the way that the character is positioning her arms, I feel like you've had enough. You've had enough and you're opening up to new energies. Maybe some of you have dropped the burden of stressing out about something that was out of your control, because we know that worrying energy can really bring us down and really affect the actual outward existence that we have when we're in a state of worry or panic. For some of you, this could also be related to healing up some PTSD, CPTSD, complex PTSD, or just some issues from the past that you may be working on in therapy or in your own healing practice of some kind. But you're definitely opening up to new things. I think you're ready for the next move here. You're ready for the next cycle. I think you do have an inclination of what that is, but it may just be that you're not quite moving into it quite yet. But it does feel like this energy is lifting, almost like the character here, she's rubbing her eyes in the morning, clearing her eyes, clearing the cloudiness from her eyes. So for you, it has a very, I'm almost done with this, I'm dropping this kind of an energy. Not so much an energy that you're stuck there, although you may have been in the past. It feels like you're coming out of something. Let's get some cards from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. I want to know more about this. What is Taurus opening up to? What is this related to? What are they clearing? Oh my, that's too many cards. A little pile there flipped out. How can Taurus move forward? Continue to move forward through these energies? How can they take the next step? The Five of Pentacles, yep, that might be what's being healed here. A defeated, betrayal, left out in the cold kind of energy. The healing, here it is, the Four of Swords, confirming that, yes, you are healing. You're coming out of a dark period, some of you. Maybe a dark night of the soul for some of you. And the Four of Pentacles. Okay, we got a little bit of work to do here, Taurus, okay? That's okay, because like I said, you're coming into the next step. You're not rushing. Taurus doesn't rush until Taurus wants to really move with force, so that's fine. You're pacing yourself here with this Five of Pentacles. Some of you, as we look at the character there with the crutches, some of you might be having physical symptoms of whatever it is you're clearing. You're having movement of energies happen in the body, perhaps some release. At times, this can be a bit of a lonely process for some of you. I think some of you feel quite alone in this, or maybe that somebody that is with you or walking with you right now maybe doesn't understand, or maybe they're in their own release and turmoil as well. I'm getting a real big tickle in my throat, like it's coming from the left side. And I feel like that's connected to your right brain energy, your creative brain. I feel there's something that's opening up here. It may come through your voice. Some of you may be singers. Some of you may recite poetry, like in front of an audience. You may be a storyteller. Something here very creative is coming out of this healing and release that you're doing, which that actually feels really good. But it's also a little bit painful as well. I will say, I feel a little little bit of pain. I feel a bit of tension, especially what I want to say is on my left side, on the feminine side of the body. That would indicate the right brain and creative energies are wanting to come out as you release what you're releasing. The Four of Swords absolutely indicates healing. I'm so glad to see you telling me that you are allowing the healing process, because it is an ongoing thing that every human has to do in life. It's not easy. At times, the healing process requires us to be still. And though you are a Taurus and you do like to dig in and relax and be comfortable, there's also an indicator here in the cards prior to this that you have been uncomfortable. And so you may be finding some comfort in a healing process or a healing modality. And because you are a sensual creature, I think you need to move further into that and move more deeply into those healing energies until you really feel that full body comfort, where you can really get the indication from your body that these energies, these stressful energies, have actually been released. Another indicator for this is going to be that your creativity is opening up. You're going to be called to something that you enjoy, whether you are expressing it as a hobby or a job or whatever it is, it's going to be something you enjoy. While you're going through this, you're also showing me the Four of Pentacles. You might be a little strapped for money or resources at this time. Maybe some of you are really investing in that healing process, like a therapist or a counselor or some physical therapy or a professional of some kind, where you're really investing in that. The Four of Pentacles is a card of savings and possibly investing in yourself. You may go through a little bit of a period of time here where you're really watching your finances. You don't want to excessively spend. Some of you are telling me you don't want to spend emotionally. You don't want to spend on the release energy. So as you're releasing some of these energies, you don't want to expend your resources completely on it. So there's some balancing going on here. He's balancing a pentacle on top of his head, one by his heart and two under the feet. So you have resources, they're there, but you're being very mindful how you use them right now. And I would say that's probably appropriate. We have the Five of Pentacles kind of going back into the Four of Pentacles, but I think that's because, Taurus, the way you move, you need to ensure your comfort. And if there's areas where you're uncomfortable emotionally, you may not want to feel discomfort in a financial area. So you may say, hey, I'm going to be a little more careful right now. I'm going to pull back on some of these other things while I work through these tricky emotions. I don't want to go making these emotional decisions. Also, I'm being called to have you, when you come across this reading, because it is timeless, check the astrology. What's going on? That's also influencing this here. Let's get some more cards here. I want to get a card again from the Tarot of Enchanted Dreams, and I want to ask about relationships, because you want to ask about relationships. So we've kind of looked at your relationship with yourself and what you're doing and what you're dealing with. What about around you? Ooh, okay. There is partnership availability around you, Taurus. Now, this could speak to something more intimate and romantic, but it doesn't have to be. The Two of Cups is about an exchange of energy that comes from the heart. Typically and ideally, it would be with two individuals who have their cups full and they can share in some sort of energy together. Now, you'll notice in this card, we've got dragonflies flying around the full moon. We've got a lotus flower blossoming out of the water. It's opened up. It's a very graceful card. It's a very light card, about very light energy about it. And this is indication of love. Again, it could be romantic, intimate, friendship, a child, someone that you're having a nice exchange with. So I really like to see this because relationship-wise, something has been healed, or if this is a newer relationship and not connected to maybe some of the areas you're healing, there's something supportive here going on. I love how there's an arc of energy going on between the two cups. I think that's a communication indicator here. but the communication is not maybe coming in words. It's not maybe coming from the mind. It's coming from the heart. It's an emotional exchange of energy. So this is beautiful. I feel like this is going on around you. This is present in your relationships. If you're not feeling it, or you're like, what are you talking about? I don't have anybody, or I don't feel like I have someone. That means this potential is there though. And maybe it's been through the stress and the healing release that you're doing that you haven't been able to see this. So for some of you, this could be new love coming in, new support, new exchange, which is absolutely what happens when we take the time to be in our healing process and we honor ourselves and how we move through that process. So I'm not surprised to see we have relationship potential here for you, and energies opening up into a beautiful exchange that comes from the heart. It's very graceful. It's very peaceful. Okay, let's get you a couple more cards, Taurus. Let's ask you. Let's ask your greater being. What do you want to remind yourself of when it comes to relationships and opening up emotionally to others? What does Taurus want to be reminded of here? Yeah. So we've got several things here. We've got the 10 of Cups for you, Taurus, and we've got the Judgment card. There is definitely, with the Judgment card, there is forgiveness and atonement is implied. So that could be a part of the healing process, part of you forgiving maybe someone in your life, someone growing up that affected you, or a previous relationship that hurt you, or, was just hurtful. Maybe they didn't hurt you on purpose, but it was just hurtful, or it was a hard breakup. Something like that is being forgiven. And greater possibilities are opening up to you with this 10 of Cups. I love the beautiful rainbow. I think in my one of my recent Frequency Fridays, I'm not sure what it'll be when you get to this one, if it'll be recent or not. But from the time I'm doing the video, I talked about the rainbow and watching for these outside. And when you get to see a rainbow, really spending some time with it, removing glasses, contacts, or sunglasses, and just gazing safely, of course, because I don't know where the sun will be, but gazing safely at the rainbow. And maybe for some of you, it's color therapy is coming into play here. You're working with your different energy centers and healing through color. But the possibilities open up with the 10 of Cups. This is fullness in love. It would be you recognizing what you deserve, and you're going to be called to that. And this is Gabriel's horn here. This is a calling. You are being called to greater love. For some of you also, I feel like, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but your astrology chart has something to do with this, in particular, how you are evolving in your relationships throughout the course of your life, your transits, maybe to do with Venus for some of you. This is what you know inside. This is what your goal is. And this is what you wanted to be reminded of today. You are opening to greater love. All this hard work you're doing is opening you up to greater love, a greater level of forgiveness. And forgiveness is all about releasing and letting go so that something new can come in. The Judgment card is the number 20. It's nearly at the end of the cycle of the major arcana. And so we have endings that are blending into new beginnings here, all sparked through you coming out of this stressful time and with your commitment to your healing process. For some of you are like, it's messy, it's hard. I get it. I know it is. I know it's messy. I know it's hard. But I also would just encourage you of the greater purpose here and the larger, more fulfilling energies that are coming out of the tough experience for you here. You are opening up to all new levels, and it's beautiful, and it's hard, and it's messy at times. So we're going to acknowledge all of that. I want to get you a card from the Moonology Oracle to close off your reading today. What else needs to be illuminated for Taurus? Okay. For those of you who might have been stuck on this 9 of Swords, stuck on a past situation, you're getting the answer that nothing will come of this situation. It's a void of course moon. This could also mean what you were already telling me with the 4 of Pentacles is you're not going to maybe spend or invest or get a contract or anything going. You're going to keep it a little closer to your vest right now because you are getting the intuition within yourself that's nothing will come out of that. And I nothing positive. I almost want to say nothing positive will come out of this. For some of you, this is a previous relationship. Like I said, that tough breakup that maybe some of you went through. For others of you, it may be beating your head against the wall with family members your whole life, like just trying to get through to someone who's chosen not to evolve. And as you've chosen to evolve, and no matter what you do. And I think you're at that point of there's still that little pull in you that might say, oh, contact them. Oh, it's okay to reach out. Oh, it's okay to break down that boundary. There's been enough time. There's that little pull in you, but then there's that greater part that's like, wait, nothing's going to come of that situation. Nothing's going to come out of that that's positive for you. You're in a different place now. You're finishing up a healing process, so it doesn't make sense for you to dive back in head first to an old stagnant pool. You're going for beautiful, clean water now, untouched, like glacial water. That's the kind of space you want to be operating in. So some of you were being pulled, you get pulled back into these energies. That's part of overcoming them. Sometimes we are pulled back into them as we test ourselves and our own growth. And if you do have to stumble back into something, if you do find yourself doing that, then it's about that self-forgiveness. Forgiving yourself and just saying, okay, I messed up. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to love myself because not only am I learning to open up to love with others on a greater level, first, I have to open up to myself. Taurus, I've got one more surprise before we close off your reading. I'm going to get you a rune from this beautiful rune set with the Viking wheel on top and the runes all the way around. I love working with the runes and the energy of the runes. Mix, 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 mix for Taurus. And I'm going to say too that whatever your heritage, these are Norse, Old Germanic, Elder Futhark runes, so that's kind of the heritage and the lineage. But whatever your lineage is, I encourage you to look up the signs and symbols of your ancestry because I think it would help. So Taurus, you got Othala, which is about ancestry. I'm going to mention too, Sagittarius. If you have Sagittarius in your chart, the Sagittarius reading was very heavy with the ancestral energy. So I'm going to mention that for those of you that it might apply to. Ancestry, this can have to do with property, prosperity, and good fortune, inheritance, the order of things, how your life has been ordered, or maybe even in a state of disorder from what you're showing me with the healing here, bringing order to something that was disordered in your heritage. This can also point though to spiritual heritage and your connection with yourself on that spiritual level. What are your fundamental values and how are you incorporating those in releasing these stressful energies and moving through some of those tougher things? It's also a rune that can very much aid you on your spiritual journey. It increases physical safety as well as abundance. So it looks like a diamond with like two legs. It's like a walking diamond, just like you, Taurus, a walking diamond. So keep that in mind. Keep loving yourself, keep valuing yourself, and know how enriching your life is going to be as you continue to work through these energies. It's an ongoing process. You're going through a bit of a growing pain, a bit of a dark night right now, but the energies you're opening up to are very powerful and very beautiful. Taurus, thank you so much. If you have been here to the end, this is a reminder. If you resonated, please share this video with someone, bring a friend to the channel. Make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any wonderful readings or lives that I do. And I look forward to seeing you next time.